I ain't give him no lights because I actually don't throw my boat because you're on little nigga. They ain't funny, daddy. He was trying to play on my shit. I ain't finna like you because you're on the orange. He ain't even talking. Fucking nigga. You probably used to winning like that. You know what I mean? You ain't get no W on my watch. You know what I mean? Not on my watch.
Alright. What's up, y'all? This is live. We're running live on Instagram. I don't know about TikTok, but thank you guys for being here. I'm here with Moselle and Latrice. Debbie 2G is here. You gonna say what's up?
Well, still winner. I'm just setting up over here.
Yeah, he's setting up a little bit. But today we're going to talk to Moselle a little bit. Mo, I wanted to talk to you because you've been a little vocal on social media, and I don't really know too much of the ins and outs, but I know that there's some stuff sitting on your heart.
Yeah, vocal in what way? I mean, I've been vocal for a long time about a lot of different things. I don't know if there's something specific you were thinking about.
Okay, well what we gonna do is we go words illustrated.
Yeah.
And we just gonna,
Yeah,
I think Johnny took my letter.
oh, there.
I go get it right now.
I got another one. And then we're just gonna see where it goes.
I like it.
You know what I mean? But tell everyone a little bit about who you are.
About who I am. Well, I mean, in a nutshell, I'm just working. I work wine, I work weed. I've been on a personal healing journey probably since about 2018. What that looks like is ever evolving, Been on hermit mode recently just because I've been searching within for any answers. It just, that's it in a nutshell. I've been trying to do a lot of inner healing of young Mo. I know we've had that conversation before. Healing my inner child wounds that have, created a lot of my reality in my adult life. A lot of my limiting beliefs, a lot of my fears, a lot of, things that have kept me in a box.
Who is Moselle though? Like,
who is Moselle?
Somebody asked me before, who is Veronica? And I said, I'm a mother, I'm this and that. And they said, no, that's who you are for other people.
Sure.
Right? I said, I'm a daycare provider. And they said, no, but who is Veronica? Outside of what you are for other people, who is Moselle?
Well, I guess that's profound. For me, I'm really defined by my work. Unfortunately, I'm trying to unplug from that. But probably just someone who's really unconditional loving, loyal to a fault, someone who is a truth seer, truth seeker, truth speaker. Definitely my personal growth has just been established in like a lot of learning.
Yeah.
A lot of knowledge for me is just what I've been really delving in lately. For me, it's always been a very creative. I've always been a creative person. I've always been very imaginatory. I've always been somewhat in my own little bubble, where because of in my adult life I've had to do a lot of working to get a lot of what I want. I was not born into a situation where everything was easily provided to me, because it was, coming from a mindset of struggle and lack, because that's what generations of my family presented. So a lot of Moselle is stuck in that matrix in terms of always chasing the bag, and I mean like since 19 working 2 jobs, always chasing the bag. And a lot of that does reflect me, because I've always wanted more than what I grew up with. I've always wanted more than what was available to me. I've always wanted beyond the stars.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? In terms of goals, I realize that I've become less of a people pleaser because a lot of people in my life, and when I say people, that's very general. That's just anybody
For sure.
who doesn't have an expansive mind or the courage or the strength to take the steps that I do or think the way that I think or have the mindset or the perception that I think because or the way that I think. And it's a lot of because it's a lot of limiting beliefs in society.
Now, how would your friends describe you as a person?
Probably hardworking, probably loyal, probably to myself. I'm not really outside a lot. I'm working a lot again because I have a lot of goals that are set. Probably respectful for the most part. Can be silly, can be crazy. Definitely a foodie, definitely a wino, definitely into weed, you know. But everybody's perception of me, I'm sure, is different. But that's it in a nutshell because those are things that I'm very open with, you know. They're a huge part of my everyday life. But there's a lot that people wouldn't know about me because I don't make it public. I don't speak a lot about it. And, you know, that's more of the geeky, nerdy, what I would call sapio side of me. The side that always wants to know the truth, always wants to learn more, always is very intrigued with the unknown and always wanting to know the unknown, so to speak.
Hold on, let's pause for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to do so myself of
Whose is that?
friend?
Is that yours?
What type of friend are you in friendships? Do you think?
Definitely. I mean, loyal is the first thing that always comes to my mind.
What's your definition of loyal?
Loyal, meaning obviously someone who, I mean, to me, I'm a Leo, I'm a lion, so I have a lot of pride. And being loyal is, for me, someone who can stand on the characteristics that they claim to be. And being, you know, honest, trustworthy, all that encompasses loyalty.
For sure.
And of course, truth. Whether it be something that you can agree upon or not, I think loyalty would stand beyond disagreements. It would stand beyond different religious backgrounds, different viewpoints. If you have a connection with somebody, loyalty means that you're true to that connection, whatever that connection is with that person. And it's on an individual level, because I don't think everybody should get the same level of loyalty. It doesn't go without being earned. And if you don't have trust and you don't have all the other characteristics that we already mentioned, then loyalty is very hard to follow suit of all those things.
But how do you keep that in line if everyone is given different levels of loyalty? How do you keep that in line with your friends when with doing that? Obviously you understand that everybody else has a different perception of loyalty and the way they move with it. So how do you keep it straight with dealing with different people and having to regulate how you deal with the loyalty with them?
Well, my circle is very small. There's probably, other than my actual family, like besides you two, maybe one or two other people that I would feel loyalty applies to, because they would be considered friends. Everyone else in my life would be an acquaintance or people that I know of. There isn't a bond built deep enough to say that there is a level of loyalty that applies to that person. A lot of times those people are met through life and work and play and whatever the situation is. And again, if loyalty isn't earned, we can be cool, but we're not friends, we're not friendly. There's no need to have a level of loyalty with these people.
So have you found yourself, because I mean you can be friends and, like you said, acquaintances with people for a long time, but if you don't consider yourself, have you found yourself in the situation where then it was a question of loyalty? Because I know, like personally, I know that you've had some long-standing friendships or just friendships that maybe have went different directions for different ways.
Sure.
I mean, different reasons.
Sure.
So with that, I'm sure that, and we're not talking about like fly by night. So
No.
with that, I know that there was a sense of loyalty, and me just knowing you, I know that you had a sense of loyalty to them. So was there, do you think you overplayed your part in those relationships, or where was your like understanding there? You know what I'm saying? Like
Always,
as far
I
as,
think I've always overplayed my part in almost every relationship. And what I mean by that is I've done a lot of people pleasing.
Mhm.
I've done a lot of dimming my light, biting my tongue, not speaking my truth, which I, for a very long time, confused that tolerance with me being loyal to people.
Mhm.
And that's when I realized, no, that's
Sure.
self-abandonment
Yeah.
is what that is.
Yeah.
And if I can't stand loyal to me, first and foremost, and what my beliefs are and what my morals and values are, then how can I ever expect to give loyalty to anybody else?
Well, it's low key like if
So-
you can't set your own boundaries, how can you enforce anybody else to the boundaries that you like? Don't do this to me, but you haven't set the boundary to say this is what you're not allowed to do to me.
I've had to cut people off for that reason because I happen to be a mirror sometimes.
Mhm.
And when I have this big expansive energy and I'm projecting love and light and blah, blah, blah outwardly, a lot of times it's mirrored back to me and I get it mistaken because I'm mistaking my own energy for the room.
Mhm.
When it's not the room, it's me.
Mhm.
So I've had to distinguish, and that's what the hermit mode was for,
Mhm.
because I got to learn, sit with myself. I got to learn my own energy and realize when I went out into the world, it was me and my energy that was being projected onto others that made them reactionary to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there again is where I've dimmed myself to make the room more comfortable
Mhm.
when I enter. And again, I've often mistaken that tolerance for loyalty
For sure.
because I am allowing other people to be comfortable even if I'm understanding I'm shrinking to do it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and that's again what I mean by like, okay, loyalty is earned. So now I realize I don't mind stepping into the motherfucker like the elephant. I'm going to,
Mhm.
because that's me. Whether it's perceived as weird or disruptive or loud or
And
whatever
I don't
it
think it's really
is.
the as the elephant. I think it's just you being able to walk in as you and not having any type of insecurity about that, and people either respecting this is me or this isn't, but you being secure in that, because you could be walking in like the ant, but if you
Yeah.
have, you know what I mean. So it's more.
But it
you.
is an elephant to low vibrational or people with low energy. If you're walking in with a huge expansive energy aura, you don't even have to say a word. Your presence is felt and your presence is known before they even see you.
Yeah.
Because you know, Latrice knows, she's walked into a motherfucking place and people have turned to feel or see what they're feeling. They're feeling her entering, they're feeling you entering, they're feeling me
But you know
entering.
what's interesting?
So that is the elephant in the room because our energy is, we bogarting in that motherfucker regardless of whether we walking in with grace is how we really appear.
But see, I look at it different because like I just did an interview that I haven't dropped yet, but I did it with my eyelash lady, and she said when she first met me, she was intimidated. And I said,
Yeah.
why? I said,
Because she's down
and-
here.
But me, no, but she's
I'm
not
talking about energy. It's all energy.
I'm not
I'm
even
not
gonna
talking
say-
about her specifically. I don't even know her.
Yeah, but I'm not even gonna say that her energy was down there. I'm just gonna say that her when I walked in, my energy and her energy might not be as strong as mine in the way that, like, just because, like, I have strong energy, but other people have strong energy too, but it's on a different level, right?
I know that.
There's women who are quiet, who walk in real timid, but they're very strong,
Their
and their
powerful-
strength comes
their
out,
power is
right?
quiet,
So
yes.
so sometimes just the way that, and what I've noticed with me, sometimes the way that I present myself, it can intimidate people. And that's not saying that there's anything wrong with them. That's just saying that that's a presence that I have. Now, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with me either.
No.
And what we did is, I came in, she didn't judge me off of that. That's just a natural thing that as we grew to know each other, she was able to naturally express to me, right? But it didn't change anything. I've been
Yeah.
with her almost a year. We're cool, we're friends, all
Sure.
that, right? So,
Sure.
but at this point, it was enlightening for me to tell, for her, it was enlightening to me for her to tell me how she perceived me. And she's like, but you're really nice. Like, you're really nice and you're just
Yeah.
real. And she,
What you expect.
yeah, and when you watch the videos, it was really interesting how, but I wouldn't categorize her as low vibrational. I would just say, because we all have natural biases when we see people. Now, it's up to us to recognize those and say, hey, I'm not about to judge old girl off of, but we all
No.
have them, I feel like.
No, just like you said, there's levels to it. I use different terminology, which is low vibrational. And when I say vibrational, I am literally talking about frequency and vibration. And whether we want to talk about it or not, that's where my biochemistry and my neuroscience mind kicks in, because it is energy. Everything is energy. This table is energy. It holds a frequency. It may be low vibrational, because it's literally low on the chakra, and that's what I'm referring to. Low vibrational doesn't mean negative. It just means the level that you vibrate. And theories and sciences that believe, well, not really sciences in terms of laboratories, but there are
However they were doing.
homopathic
Yeah.
sciences, yes, that were based off the earth, that were based off herbal, medicinal, and all those type of sciences that were not based in laboratories before we had that type of technology. But
Yeah,
people
for
still
sure.
had beliefs. They still had cultural regimes or regimens that they followed, and they believed
That's
in
where
it. They were
that's where
natural
started.
healers and stuff. Yeah,
That's where they
absolutely.
started.
I honestly still trust and believe that the farther we got into technology, the farther we damned ourselves, because we actually made it more complicated when
And the pharmacy-
people back then were actually doing natural healing from the earth and from herbal medicines that still to this day are working.
Oh, and the
And it's
pharmaceuticals.
less diluted and less manipulated and less side effects.
Well, look, it's like the pharmaceuticals. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, okay, but we got to get back to what we talking
Yes,
about.
I know, because there's always tangents.
Go, yeah. Trees, you good over there?
Great.
Okay. Okay. So we had kind of got into how the loyalty and all that. Do you think that because you have a strong sense of loyalty and all that, do you think that um, you could really hold the people accountable that you feel were disloyal, or was there some type of accountability on your part?
There's always accountability on my part for what I allowed to happen.
Yeah.
So, no, I can never hold anything against what an opportunist saw in my kind heart and my soul to benefit from. Because honestly, I believe that I am put in certain people's lives to show them what they don't believe exists, like unconditional love, like loyalty, like courage, like the reason why I can come back and still love you, even though I know you've drugged me through the dirt. You know what I mean? That's part of me that is a flaw, and part of me that I have had to learn how to draw the line and how to call that power back and how to cut you off and have the boundary to where I know I'm not hurting myself eventually. Because I don't want to change my heart. I still want to be a good person. I still want to be that person that was put in people's lives to show them, hey, these type of people do exist. And your karma is how you choose. Because when I say vengeance is the Lord's, vengeance is the Lord's. Because He's going to do better to you for doing a good-hearted person wrong than what I could ever do in terms of what I would call vengeance or revenge. Or because what does that put me in? That puts me in my lowest chakras: anger, resentment. You know what I mean? That's not where I want to vibrate. That's where I want to vibrate higher. You know what I mean? And that's all I mean by like vibes. Like even Kendrick Lamar said, please don't kill my vibe, because he want to remain vibing high. You know what I mean?
So you said that they, you were brought into their life to show them unconditional love. But have you ever thought about why were they brought into your life though? Like,
to teach me lessons? Of course.
Lessons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To teach me lessons to where I need to create those safe boundaries. You know, don't change your heart, because that's the blessing.
Yeah.
That's what I need to keep safeguarded though. So I don't switch up. I don't switch up my morality, my value of self. I still have that unconditional love, that expansive mind, that open heart. But fuck around and find out, because the angel got a dark side. Everybody got duality. You know what I mean? But I'm going to always give you the light first, and I'm always going to give you unconditional love, and what you choose to do with that is what you choose to do with that. And like I said, I know I'm going to keep stepping forward in the name of love, because that's where the blessings come from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think along this journey, I've had to learn that. And when I say some of the worst people in my life, one of the biggest demons that I've had to forgive and give unconditional love to was my own father. And that's why I always talk about healing young Mo, right? Because everything that young Mo went through that I never healed is the shit that I drug into my adult life and expected other people outside of me to give me the soft landing that I needed, you know, the coddling. And no, I had to pull up my own bootstraps. You know what I mean? I had to show myself, look at this fucking pissy shit and mess you made. Like, these are your choices. These are the circumstances of those choices. You can't blame nobody else. And so when I realized I moved forward, resenting some of the things that I went through as a child, I realized it made me an ugly life in my, like a person in my adult life. And this is just me judging myself, nobody else. Okay, I'm not telling anyone else this is their healing journey. This is mine, because I realized that is the ugly mess that I projected forward into my expectations, you know, of what was to come. It was another form of self-sabotage by not healing those wounds, by building up walls around them and thinking I'm protecting myself by not sitting with it, feeling it, and moving forward and making a change. Because obviously if I didn't make a change, it's just insanity to keep doing the fucking same karmic loop, thinking something different's gonna come about. No, I had to heal what was giving me the negative mindset to begin with.
Do you think that those friends fulfilled or like did it make you feel good to be able to help them? Like did knowing that they needed you help the situation? Because it seemed like
I think that's what kept me stuck so long.
Okay.
To be quite honest,
we're just getting.
And I'm saying that I'm saying that about past lovers, past family members, past friends, that I did find fulfillment in being that one that could be like, dun, 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 dun. Mo to save the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I did find fulfillment in that because I know I had a handful, less than a handful of people like that in my life,
Mhm.
and I will never forget them. So maybe I wanted to show up like that in other people's lives to be that
Mhm.
person that's just unforgettable. That's what you are.
Okay, so you've been this person in everybody else's life. Are you ready for somebody to be that for you?
I am, and I think that's part of the reason why my relationships have been the way they have been.
With men
Because
or with just in
with
general?
everyone. But I mean, sure, romantic, because I mean, everybody knows. I'm a unicorn, right? Like everybody knows. No kids, never married.
Okay, I was like,
unicorn.
okay.
So again, because I've been so.
Trees, you're a unicorn too.
She is, yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll send you a picture of you tomorrow.
You are a mythical creature. we don't exist, apparently.
Okay, put your shoulder up.
I was unique my whole life.
You just didn't know you had corn on the back.
I didn't know I had a little extra.
Yeah. But so what in your
So yeah, even though I may view myself as a blessing to other people's lives, I think I also view them as a lesson for mine. So it's a give and take. And if I don't learn the lesson in what might feel like loss, you know what I mean? Then I'm gonna move forward making the same mistakes. So that's the I think. What's that, Trees?
But I was just gonna ask. So I get every situation you'll take your own accountability because you allow people to do what nobody can do to you what you don't allow them to do. With friends that you've lost, how do you take the accountability if is the question mark? How do you deal with that? Or do you know the reason for every separation from every friend?
Well, I do again seek within for those answers because sure, for people who and when I say some of those lost friends are not it's not by their choice. It's by my choice that I give them a distance. And do I still wish them peace be unto you? Absolutely. But when I say I just don't feel like I'm in alignment with certain people anymore in my life, that means I don't feel like my goals and aspirations, my ambition, my focus, my drive, and where I want to go is matched or equalized, or I feel like that part of me is drained around certain people.
Okay.
And so those certain people of the past, and yes, definitely including past relationships, I feel like a lot of that creative energy, a lot of that energy was misplaced into the wrong focus, the wrong, you know what I mean? However you want to put it.
Okay.
So again, it's accountability on my part. Like, okay, that was an avenue I was curious about, obviously, intrigued. There might have been some sort of connection, whether it be, again, like to me, it's connection is connection, whether it's friend, family, now a foe, ex-friend, ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever people want to look at it, how they want to look at it. It could even be an ex-job that you left or a workplace, right? Like, whatever the lesson is, I'm still taking accountability for staying that long in that place that made me feel triggered, or in that relationship that made me feel triggered, whether it's a romantic or family or
every situation.
There's still because I feel like I still need to account for, because when I say I saw red flags and I gave people too many benefits of the doubt, that was again my lesson that you got a good heart. You're supposed to you're supposed to share it. You're supposed to spread love. The earth needs more of it. But you are supposed to realize when you're directing it into the wrong place, where that energy is now being misplaced and it's just being output with no return back.
Okay.
That's where I was lacking in a real for a very long time in my life.
Taking until I'm just ran dry.
Because again, I'm mistaking my tolerance for other people's failure to reciprocate. And it's not just in a financial way. You can reciprocate in a spiritual way with love, honesty, trust, truth, loyalty. That shit's all free. You know what I mean? So it's not just like in a monetary gain or how can I benefit transactionally? Because when I say a lot of people's love is transactional, it is.
So
It's based off of benefit. What can I gain?
So tell me this. Because we're going to get to it. We got to get through it to get to it. So I saw your post on Facebook, and from the outside looking in, because I'm not in, I'm on the outside. It looked like, first of all, it looks like someone hurt your feelings. Someone hurt your feelings, and you haven't really been able to voice how you feel without it being from an angry or an aggressive place. It also seems like whatever the situation is, it's bothering your heart more than you want to let it be known through your head. Did I say that right, Treese?
Yeah.
It just seems like it's heavier on you than
And then you know how we try to talk ourselves down or talk ourselves out of emotions or feelings or anything, like it might just be a little more than what it might be let on to be, is what you're saying?
Yeah, so all I've said is like, I just wanted to talk to you, for you to say how you feel, honestly feel, not on no like just whatever about, and you kind of just touched on it with the whole situation of your friends. 'Cause I think maybe you've been going through a transitional period with not really friends and family, but just yourself, and through that it's shed some weight. And through that shedding weight, you came to some realizations about yourself, which in turn spilled over on how you had to deal with certain people, or what you were able to, what you're willing to accept, or whatever the case. But did you want to touch on that?
I mean, all that is very much true. And a lot of people call it maybe a dark night of the soul, where you have this ego death and realize the old version of you is dying. And like you said, when you go through this journey, this healing process, you realize there's a lot of shit that you carried that wasn't yours. And that you ended up carrying a lot of shit that had to do with people that you were there for. And so that's where the heartbreak comes in. And then when I say it's not any one individual, trust me, it's not.
No, it's the whole, what you're dealing with as a whole. Yes. I understand.
So,
because it wasn't just one friend you shed from, you've had multiple. So that's why I'm saying it has to be heavy with all of that, because it's not like, oh, it was this person because of this and this. No, it was as a whole.
Well, it's I took a lot of accountability, and I had to, because a lot of these people didn't really see me. And again, it's because I was dimming my light. I hid a lot of my knowledge, my truth, what I truly care about. I kept it real superficial, and they thought they had a connection. I didn't. Mm-hmm. I was being tolerant of what I thought was a connection I was being loyal to.
Yeah.
And when I stopped and looked and said, no, what do I need? It wasn't there.
For sure.
So
there was no fill my cup. Yeah.
I realized I was holding space for a lot of people that never held space for me. And do I hold it against them? No, because I know the depth of me. They don't have it. Their capability is not there. Am I talking down on people? No. Because some people who won't grow because they're comfortable where they're at, I understand I'm the one that constantly wants more knowledge, more truth, more, I want to rise above every day, even if it's a baby step. That's immeasurable to most people. It looks like growth to me.
It is growth.
And when people are like, that's what I can't have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I become the villain in other people's story. And I'm embracing that now.
Yeah.
Because before
Every story has to have a villain.
Before, I was like, oh, no, no, no. Let me quiet down to make you comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, when I say it's not allowed because I'm trying to be, it's like, it's because I feel what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I like when there's a preacher at a pulpit and he speaks with conviction, people would say, that's what I feel.
Yeah, you're passionate.
It's like down here in my gut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for some people, that's going to be disruptive. And when I say that happens without me even speaking sometimes, it's just my presence. It's happened it's been happening my whole life.
So, but can we call, because see, I stopped calling these people haters and stuff like that. Can we call these people haters, or can we just respect where they're at, and with understanding of knowing that you're in a different place? And I'm not going to say,
You weren't called them nothing.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not going to say that I'm in a better place, because I'm not here to
No.
judge them, because that's not what I'm on. But to
It's
say
not
that you're in a
comparison, it's not competition.
so to say that you're in a different space, can't you also just analyzing in your own brain, saying, you know what, they're in a different space, and I respect that, and I got to move around it. Like, it's
Yeah.
not even something where the attention is the lane is given to them for that attention, because you're not even on the road or the pathway to get to me, because we're not in the same state.
Of
Type
course.
shit.
Yes, and I think it's beyond that at this point, because hate is not something we need.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can see,
Because I saw you say you had some haters,
well,
and I'm like, they're not even on. And I saw you had another. You said I can't quote it, but it was something like the team, like their team was hating on you.
they team up, haters team up.
Yeah. And so when I saw that, I was
It was
like,
more on some song lyric type
Yeah.
shit, but I hear you, yeah.
But because when I
And these
hear,
people do hate me, so I know for a fact they do. So I did use that term in very literal terminology, not metaphorically. These people hate me on some jealous shit, like, no, they hate me.
Yeah. But honestly, but the reality is, however they feel about you, it doesn't matter, because
It doesn't.
because they're not. You don't deal with them, so
It doesn't.
It's low key. Like, I don't know how you feel about me, because I know how I feel about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because really, like, you can team up, but I mean, you never needed a team, bro.
No.
So team up, because you might have to team up. That might be what you have to do. So for me,
When
it's
I
just
say I'm
giving
ready,
that
like
energy.
Kimbo Slice, girl, I wish y'all would team up. Because I might have to actually break a nail if y'all did.
Okay.
But I've
I don't
grown.
even know if you break it down. I don't even think.
The way I
Yeah.
kick, the hands might not be used, is what I'm trying to
but
say.
the thing is, you don't have to say it.
No,
You don't.
no.
That's nothing that you have to yell. That's
No.
nothing that you have to say.
And
Like,
I'm just popping
like
out
you
and popping
walk-
off is all that was.
Because you walk in, Yeah, but because the reality is that you walk in your power. Whether
Yes.
we're filming, whether
Yes.
we're not filming,
Yes.
the reality is your reality is your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody putting on a show for nobody. It don't change when you're around anybody. You is you.
Yeah, of course.
So I just, because when I see things, and that's why I wanted to talk to you about it, and that's to get to it, to get through it, because in the reality of it is, if these people aren't in your life anymore, none of them deserve the energy. It's low key like having that fly on the wall. Like, sooner or later, I'm gonna swat you, but
Yeah.
But until then, you're not about to have me running around the house. You're not about to have
Yeah.
me running around the house.
Yeah.
There's other ways to get you. There's stuff I can plug in the wall.
Oh, sure.
You feel me? I can hire somebody to come with a swatter.
Mhm.
I can even hire somebody to come with the whole hose and just put the little spray out, so then we leave and then we come
Little
back and it's good.
maintenance.
A little maintenance. There's always ways to rid the bugs. So it's low key, like we don't have to run around the house and yell about the bug.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Oh,
We
you
don't have
hitting me
to.
with all these metaphors, bro.
Just with the metaphors.
They're good ones though.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all better write them down.
You know, because we gonna get through it, what, Trees? To get to
You know
it.
what? I want to circle back kind of to the friendships conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
I do want to know, Moselle, what's something a friend could do that would make you look at them differently? And what do you, since you say that you are loyal by default, what does loyalty look like to you when it's being given to you? Like, what do you look for in loyalty being given to you, as well as the first part of the question of you looking at friends differently to where your loyalty would have to change?
Well, I mean, mostly just someone being not their authentic self or lying, you know, being manipulative is what would probably make me switch up. You know what I mean? And at least in their eyes, because see, people are going to say I switch up just by me standing on my morals and my values. So if they're doing something that I feel like, you know, because when I say I've had to step away from friends that I've ended up circling back to, realizing it wasn't good for me. And a lot of times, like I'll use one example where it was like a toxic alcoholism situation where the person never remembered or recalled any of our interactions. And not to be judgmental on that person, but I was like, I can't be around that. I distanced myself. And whether or not that looked like loyalty on their part, I don't know. But for me, it was a situation where I had to choose to be loyal to myself and what I thought was what I was comfortable with. And I wasn't comfortable with the the substance abuse, and then not knowing anything that you spoke on or did or anything beforehand, or while you were intoxicated or while you were indulging. And then, even when I guess that was the first sign that I shouldn't have been around that person, or my nervous system was rejecting that person, let's say. And at the time I thought, maybe I'm just traumatized because of my father and his alcoholism and what I went through as a child, and, how I thought that was toxic. So I had to.
It had you second guessing yourself.
It did, because I thought I was being judgmental based on experiences that I had, and I felt like maybe, I had to give people chances, and that people did deserve chances, and that I shouldn't be judging them based on, my experiences in the past, and again, lessons that I had to learn to use my discernment and approach each situation from whatever perspective is needed according to that person. Because it's not like you have this definition for everybody that applies, because I realized that doesn't work for certain people. I had to learn how I could still be there for them, but protect myself. And does that look like loyalty to people? Probably not if I'm choosing me. You know what I
It
mean?
does to the right people, though.
Of course.
It does to the right people.
But
And it doesn't matter what it looks like.
for
to
me,
other people, right?
if I can still be loyal to someone if I feel they did what was in their best intentions for them. And what I mean is, when I choose not to be around them anymore, or I don't choose to have them in my life anymore, anything that was built on when I did fuck with them, anything that we exchanged in terms of deepest, darkest secrets, that doesn't leave with that distance. That stays with me.
Did you deal with that?
So, yeah, there's a lot of shit that, yeah, I am harboring inside because it would be very destructive to talk about it. Not to me necessarily, because I'm actively healing from it, but in a way, it's almost like I'm being more loyal to myself by not continuing to perpetuate the situation forward and keep talking about it and revealing more, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like part of my learning too. You know what I mean? Part of my journey, I guess you could say, is where my loyalty is still somewhat remaining, even though I know this person doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where your frustration comes from?
I think what's a big part of it, because there's no reason to have gone through what I did with that person when it was nothing but love for me.
Yeah.
And this is not romantic either. This is someone that claimed they would die for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that hurts. And when you realize that they really hated you the whole time.
Is there a piece
That's
of
like-
you that wants that?
Thank you for the tissue.
Of course, Fred. Of course. I saw it coming. Is there a piece of you that wants that, whatever that feeling was, that closeness, that bond, but the realness of it? Is there a piece of you that, under the I'm pissed off and all that, is there a piece of you that misses that? Like what you misses what you thought was real?
No, because I've learned how to pour that into myself, and I don't feel like I'm actually missing anything when I come to the realization it wasn't real. Because the love that I was feeling was mine. It wasn't the person that was in my energy.
You feel it coming?
Yeah.
Like, was there, like, did you feel the situation coming? Was there anything previous that you were like, yeah, this is a little, off about y'all type of way before the whole?
Yeah, it was starting to feel kind of stalkerish almost, but again, I'm not gonna go deep about what made me feel like it was, like, because ultimately I even told this person, I'm gonna have to distance myself from you because it was something was feeling off. And then it turned into this whole fucking smear campaign about me. Like I was like I did something. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I've actually been the only person in your life who's defended you, who showed up when no one else would. I'm not getting that part of it. But it's not my issue.
Do you have a realization? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I went through something. I mean, I don't know the gravity of your situation. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just know a little bit here and there, but I don't really know the gravity. But I went through something with a close friend where they were very disrespectful, all that, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't under the anger and all that. There was a sense of just hurt, just sadness, just I thought you really were my friend. Like I thought you.
Well, of course, there's that. That's what I'm.
like the
That's
little
probably
girl,
what I'm
like
still
the-
processing.
Like the
I've
4-year-old girl that
Well,
wants
yeah.
to say, well, why wasn't I invited? Like that, that feeling, it was like that, like, damn, I thought you were really my friend. Oh, I don't have a friend.
Well, but
that
that's what
feeling.
hurts. But that's probably what hurts, and that's just my ego, really, just being like, oh,
Well, no.
I did all these things for you, and now I'm hurt because you don't reciprocate, even just like
But even,
honesty.
but let's put the things that
You
you
know?
did for them aside.
yeah,
Just purely the fact of you being
being there and being a friend.
Yeah, but then,
That is doing something for them, though. Like whether we want to, being present is actually an action for them.
But I'm not talking about what you did for them. I'm talking about the feeling that you had in you. Like, just the fact of, like, you were hurt. Like, actually, like, okay, I'm mad and all that, but this feeling, like, those tears, that's from a place of, like, you hurt. Like,
Oh, of
like
course.
honest hurt. Like, had nothing
Because-
to do with like, hurt that I thought you were really my friend.
Yeah,
I
of
thought
course.
that you really loved me. Like you said, this person said they would die for you. I thought you would really, I would really reciprocate that really for you. But my point is, understanding that pain and that hurt and stuff, isn't there a place where you get to where you say, you know what, but obviously they're not in a place where they can receive what I was given. They weren't the person that I thought they were.
Yeah.
And I'm better than that. And we just move forward. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when people say, fight eye for an eye. And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
like I never say that. Like, I don't match energy because I'm not going to stoop down to whatever you're doing. I'm going to move past that and around that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, and I'm not saying this to take any accountability from the person who hurt you or from your feelings. I'm just saying, in order to move forward without any type of question of why did you do that to me? Because I think the question of why we could put that on every situation.
That's ego, yes.
Parents or,
I admit to that. That's just my ego saying
it
that.
could be ego, but if a kid asks a parent, why weren't you there? Right? Or I don't believe that's really, I wouldn't classify that as ego. I would classify,
For me, it is.
For me, it's more of just like my feelings. Like, that's a natural feeling of how could you, what did I do to make you hurt me? What was that?
It wasn't about me, my friend. I already know that. It was not about me.
Yeah.
It never is. What people do to me is never about me. A lot of times it's projection. It's projection of their own insecurities and what they're going through. And it's taken me probably until just 2025 to realize that.
Yeah.
And that's part of me, again, people pleasing and dimming myself to make them comfortable.
Yeah.
All the while they're projecting their insecurities onto me to make me small. And I've definitely come to those realizations that because two things can be true. Like, what they did to me, because multiple people, like a whole motherfucking group of people, what they've all done to me in the past, just collectively, was not about me. I may have triggered something that they had within themselves that they needed to heal, but their reactions aren't about me. They're projected towards me, maybe because of my presence or what I've triggered. So that's why I can say yes to when you said, can you move on and still have the realization for they're just where they're at and leave them there.
Yeah.
And it's not neither here nor there. There's no hate, just distance because we're on different levels. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's still a process of feeling the hurt and moving through it and going through that pain and getting to that realization.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it's still kind of fresh for me because it's still very fresh for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still coming to certain realizations as memories come up that the other people that are linked and involved and who were together with the dislike and the smear campaign and whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I had a little Tourette syndrome, maybe with the haters, but they do hate me. It's true.
If there was somebody who was going through something similar like this, what would you tell them?
I'm probably not the best person for advice.
I know, but you're going through it right now. So what would you say?
But I would say, you know, everything happens for a reason. I don't believe in coincidence.
All right.
So I definitely would want to make sure to pick out the lesson in what may feel like a loss. Because without picking out the lesson in the loss, you can't transmute your pain to power and be able to move forward with grace and knowledge and know how to move around it next time.
Treese, you got anything to say?
No, this was a good talk. It was some good insight.
All right. Hey, y'all, that's Word on the Street. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Thank you.